I'll talk fast. I'll talk really fast. How's it going?
Pretty good. Great.
Thanks for coming out today.
Thank you for coming.
No, of course. Just flew in on the red eye, so I can't promise how articulate I'll be. But ask me whatever, and I'll dodge questions as best I can. No, I'm kidding.
So talk to us about the general arc. We all saw the pilot, obviously.
Cool.
And I'm assuming other characters from the DC universe are going to pop up. So
yes.
Can you talk to us sort of maybe about theme and general overall stuff that you can tell us about what we can expect?
Well, this is it's a story about redemption and revenge, and the journey of Oliver Queen from being, this sort of survivor of this ordeal, this 5-year-long ordeal, to becoming a hero. You'll see, like, in episode 6, he says, I don't think of myself as a hero, and he truly doesn't. He really is, he's back to, redeem his family for the sins of his father, the sins of the father and the sins of the son. But his journey over the course of the first season is going from that guy to a guy who really is a true hero. Someone who doesn't think of himself as being a hero, someone who doesn't consider his actions heroic, to being a hero. As we like to say, it's, for those familiar with the comic, it's the journey of going from being the Arrow to being Green Arrow.
Now, over the course of the first few episodes of the episode synopsis, it seems like it'll be target of the week from the book. Will we see a villain for overall seasonal arc from here, or will we see enemies of the week?
Both. You'll certainly see a sort of a big uber bad, that we're setting up for the end of the season. But then there are several, sort of bigger bads that you'll see throughout the season. And the one thing that we do pretty quickly is, even though the list, Oliver's list of targets, is our way in, we pivot off of that really quickly. So it's not like just generic bad guy of the week. Each episode is different, and each episode provides a different antagonist and a different challenge for Oliver. So it is not nearly as it's not nearly as formulaic as one might expect from the device of, I have this list of names and I'm going to keep just checking one off after the other. Part of the fun of the show is coming into it with that conceit and then seeing how quickly and how differently we turn it on its head so quickly.
What about some of the backstory with his father and what happened, all of his bad deeds that makes him want to redeem him? Will you get some flashbacks or some of that?
Yeah, well, you'll be seeing flashbacks in every episode. We basically pick up in the second episode where the pilot leaves off, which is the pilot ends with Oliver arriving on the island or approaching the island. The second episode flashbacks begin with him setting foot on the island. And over the course of that long flashback story, we will provide details of what exactly Oliver learned about his dad. If his dad is dead, how did he learn about them? One of the themes of the show is Oliver grew up having a certain vision of his father, a certain understanding of his father, and in the events of the pilot, as you saw, he started to learn that a lot of that impression was wrong, and that there's a lot of secrets to his family that he didn't know anything about, and that obviously includes his mother as well. So that's one of the things that we'll be exploring both in the past through the flashbacks as well as in the present day stream.
On that same note, will we get flashbacks as to what happened at home while Oliver was away, seeing Laurel's background and his family's background?
We've talked a lot about doing that, and we really want to do that. What we're always sort of saying in the writer's room is we sort of need to teach the audience how to watch the show as it's currently constituted. In other words, present day into flashbacks. The example I always use is Lost. Lost had a very similar narrative structure, and then once the audience sort of got used to that, they were able to start playing around with things like nonlinear structure and flash forwards instead of just flashbacks and whatnot. So in Success, we would like to chart a very similar course, where we get asked that question a lot, like, will we get a chance to see what it was like in the events leading up to the boat crash, in the events leading up to the discovery of Oliver's, that Oliver was alive and his return. Like, one of the scenes I would love to write is the scene where Moira gets that phone call, hey, your son, who you thought was dead for 5 years, he's alive, and watching all the variety of emotions play across her face. These are all the things we get a chance to do, further down the road in series, but we would very much like to.
In terms of revealing some of the alter egos of some of the characters, kind of like you did with the first one with Laurel,
Yeah.
are we going to see people and then they'll morph into, or will it kind of be a little more kind of the surprises? Like, will we see it coming? Because I loved that aspect.
I'm good. I'm glad. I think it's, we've definitely taken this, different approaches, and we'll continue to do that. I think because part of the fun for us is, in some cases, a character comes on the stage and they have all this quote-unquote baggage from the comic book, and that's fun to lay into. And then there's other times where it's more fun to surprise the audience. So we'll definitely be doing both as the series progresses.
Now you have China White coming up this week, and then Deadshot in a couple weeks.
Yep.
Are you guys planning on announcing any new villains today, or possibly in them?
I think today you'll get your first glimpses of Deathstroke in action, and we'll be showing a sort of a trailer that will give you a preview of a lot of the characters who are appearing on the show. So we're I think you'll walk away very satisfied today once you see this trailer. There's a lot that we're previewing.
Give us the wrap, so.
Oh, okay.
Yes, thank you so much.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.